Welcome to Where Passion Meets Purpose. I'm your host, Jen Mentesana. On this show, we help busy moms and entrepreneurs find more passion and purpose in their daily lives through inspiring stories and interviews. Welcome back, everyone, to Where Passion Meets Purpose. Today and this week on the show, I am going to come to you with a topic that's really kind of on my heart lately. It's been something I've been thinking about since the Thanksgiving holiday and heading into the Christmas and Hanukkah and everything holiday season. And I just wanted to share some thoughts with you. So as you're going through your holidays, maybe you can help to make them a little bit more enjoyable for yourself and for the people around you. I know we all have so much we put on our plates this time of year. It's all the holiday shopping. It's the end of the year, getting things done for work, possibly. It's more traffic. It's more chaos. There's just so much more on our plates this time of year. And this one phrase has been really helping me, not just during the holidays, but throughout the year. And that is the phrase, letting go. I have been learning to let go of so much in my life, especially the things that really aren't serving me anymore in my life. At one time, my need to have perfection made me really good at what I did because I never wanted to stop until the project that I was working on was absolutely perfect. And in a lot of ways, that made me successful at what I do and what I did. But over time, the need for perfection has actually held me back in life. And it's one of those things that's actually held me back from my joy because I wasn't enjoying the things that I was doing or working on because they always needed to be so perfect. And as we know, the idea of perfection is not reality. We can shoot to be as perfect as possible, but I think the phrase that we really want to look for here is progress, not perfection. So letting go of perfection, letting go of the need for everything to go as smoothly as we need it to is something that I've really been working on. Perfect example today, I'm working on a project. I'm creating a new website, and I have this new web guy that I'm working with that I'm really excited about. And he had given me this folder to upload these files so that we could get started. And I spent probably an hour and a half trying to find the files I was looking for, get them loaded, and nothing was working. And it was so frustrating to me because all I needed to do was check this off my list. And I would feel like I had accomplished that task for the day. And I could not get it done. And so I finally, after an hour and a half, said, you know what? I'm going to let go. The universe is trying to tell me that this isn't something I need to get done right now. And I'm going to go do something that's moving me forward instead of feeling stuck. And because I was feeling stuck. And so I let go of that project, not forever, but for the time being, because I couldn't control the outcome of it. And instead, I decided to go for a walk. I had been in the house all day working since 8:00 this morning, and it was almost 3:00 or 2:00 actually. And I looked down, I was still in my sweatpants. I had brushed my teeth, and that was about it. I had been working all day at my computer, and I said, I got to get outside. I got to go for a walk. I got to do something that's making me feel good because I had hit a point where I wasn't getting anything else done. And I had to let it go. And that's just a small example of how we can shift our energy when things aren't going in the way that we want them to go. Another thing is traffic, right? So holiday season, traffic is crazy this time of year. Instead of, fighting and honking and getting annoyed at all of the parking spots that you're not getting in the Trader Joe's parking lot, and you're in a hurry and you got to get to the grocery store before, you get home to make dinner and all these things. Just try to let it go. It is so much easier to go in the flow of the universe when you're not trying to control the outcome. So something as little as a parking spot or traffic or taking an extra 20 minutes to get home, as annoying as it is not in your control. So letting go of those things is really important, especially this time of year, because our senses are all heightened. We're all, on, a high frequency, trying to get more things done in our day. And we're going to push ourselves to a brink of chaos and stress. And so let those little things go. They really, in the grand scheme of things, are not important enough to change your day, to get in a, car accident or a fight with another driver, or God forbid, something worse. So it's really important that we keep that perspective. And on the topic of perspective, when it comes to letting go, I'm also, and this is kind of a bigger thing and something that I really started thinking about even, earlier in the year, but definitely around Thanksgiving, is just this idea of letting go of the need for everything to look a certain way and to be a certain way. I love to entertain, as most of my friends and family know. And so I like everything to be beautiful. It's just one of my aesthetic sensibilities that I have. And I really like things to look a certain way and to feel a certain way. And it's part of my joy. Truthfully, I love decorating my house. I got these bells, these Tibetan Christmas bells from Amazon, and I am putting them all over the house, on my mantle, and all kinds in my wreaths and all this stuff. And it's so much fun, and I love it, and I really am getting joy out of it. But the minute that I start to feel like, oh, it's not done perfectly or it's not working, and I start to get frustrated that it doesn't look the way I want it to, I have to check in with myself and say, Jen, is this really important? You're taking away the joy of doing it. I'm not Martha Stewart. I don't want to be Martha Stewart. Martha is Martha. I just want to enjoy the process of making things look beautiful. And so I have to check in with myself sometimes and let go of the need for everything to be so perfect during the holidays, because it's really not about that. I mean, I know we all can say, yes, we know the holidays are about celebrating family and friends and Jesus and Jesus's birthday. It's a very spiritual and religious holiday. And now more than ever, I am so grateful for the feeling and understanding of that. But it's also about enjoying the season. It's about celebrating. It's about the time where we all come together. It's not just Christmas. It's the end of the year. It's so many things that we're celebrating. And I think we want to remember the joy and not push ourselves to the brink of exhaustion and frustration and trying to just check things off the list. Try to enjoy the process. And I think you'll find that the holidays will be so much more enjoyable. I wanted to share a story with you. And this is going to take me back to a time. I was listening to a podcast today, and it was a story about kindness. And it was on Amberly Lago's podcast, and she had a guest on, the kindness guy. I think he's at the kindness guy on Instagram. Gonna butcher that, but I'll find it for you and put it in the show notes. Anyway, it was this great episode, and they were talking about how he traveled the country with no money and just a motorbike, and he traveled the country and trying to find acts of kindness throughout the country for an entire year. And it was all about these random acts of kindness that people did that got him from coast to coast. It was an incredible story. I highly recommend. I'm not going to tell his story. I'll let him tell it on the show, on Amberly's show, and you guys should listen. But it reminded me of a great holiday story that I wanted to share with you. So, okay, this has got to be at least 20 years ago now. I was going through a difficult time in my life. I was in between relationships. I was ending a really committed relationship with someone, and it had completely uprooted my life. And I was actually living with my grandmother at the time. And I was working. I was in between jobs. It was a really rough time. I was in between jobs, and I was freelancing for a company. I was doing some marketing for a movie studio. And I was freelancing for the company that was hired by the movie studio. And there was an event that I had been working at in the Pasadena area of Los Angeles. It was close to where my parents lived at the time. And I was driving home from this event that I was basically freelancing coordinating. And I was so broke that I was scared. I didn't know how I was going to get home because I was running out of gas. I mean, that's how scary it was. I was driving from Pasadena to Culver City, where my grandmother lived at the time. And that is about a 45-minute drive at least without traffic. And I realized at that time, and it was late at night. I think the event had ended at like 11 p.m. And it was probably an hour later after breaking down the event. And I'm driving and I am so scared because I'm in the worst neighborhood trying to get home with no gas in my car. And I'm a single woman. At the time, I think it was about 31, 32 years old. Don't quote me on that, but that'll give you the idea of how old I am now. But point being is that I pulled over in the worst part of town and I was so scared. And I was just sitting in my car because I didn't know what to do. At any minute, I could run out of gas, but I was just trying to think of a plan. And I didn't know who to call. It was really late at night. I was in a bad neighborhood. I couldn't really call 911 because it wasn't necessarily an emergency. But at that moment, I was like, who do I call? My grandmother's probably sound asleep. She's going to be scared. She was 80 something years old at the time and wasn't going to be able to drive at night to come pick me up in the middle of, I think it was like literally Watts or somewhere like that. And all of a sudden I'm sitting in my car crying, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden this police officer pulls up next to me and he knocks on my window and he says, "What are you doing? And you shouldn't be in this neighborhood alone." And I said, "I know I'm about to run out of gas. I'm so scared. I can't get home. I don't have any money. Like there's no money in my bank account to even put," I mean, it was bad. And this police officer said, "Follow me." And I followed him to the closest gas station and he filled my tank for me that night. And I want to say it was like 2 days before Christmas. And he saved me. I mean, I don't know what I probably would have gotten myself out of it, but at the time I didn't think that there was going to be any safe way for me to get out of that situation. And he filled my tank and I didn't even have a way to repay him. And I felt so grateful to him. And I remembered that I had an extra pair of pearl earrings in the back of my car from the event that I was hosting. It was a movie called Girl with a Pearl Earring. And there were all these pearls that were donated by Mikimoto Pearls in Beverly Hills. Crazy story. But I had another set of the pearls and I gave them to him. And I said, "Merry Christmas, give them to your wife, please. And thank her for you being such a great man and your parents for being such a great man and doing this for me, getting me home safely." So it's those little acts of kindness for me that was all about the holidays. And those are the things when I look back on gratitude and being kindness, those are the little things that we can do for people, especially this time of year, to make them feel cared about, appreciated, loved. I have never forgotten that police officer, and he probably isn't listening and his wife is probably not listening, but I just wanted to thank him for being kind to me. I'm in a much better place in my life now. But, you know, when you're down and out like that and someone comes along and gives you a little bit of kindness, wow, does it go a long way. And I just want all of you to remember that and think about that when we're all going through our hustle bustle this time of year and we're feeling like, you know, we can't get enough done. And there's all these Christmas gifts we want to buy for our kids and for all the people. Yes, all those things are important. But remember that the littlest, kindest thing that you can do for someone can make the hugest impact. So I just wanted to share that story with you all and remind you a little bit about what the holiday season is all about. I'm grateful for my family, for my friends. I'm grateful for all of you that listen to my show every week. I'm grateful for the opportunity to, you know, share everything that I've learned over the years in entrepreneurship and my career and my business with those that maybe are going through a tough time and want to make a transition. I'm grateful for so many things in my life. And I'm especially grateful to God for where I am in my life now and how he has come into my life. So that's what I'll be celebrating this holiday season. And I hope that you guys will be celebrating something special as well. And yes, go to all those parties and have fun and buy your family amazing gifts and do all the amazing things and give back. And just remember that doing the little things for others can make a big difference, and also let go of what isn't serving you anymore. Maybe that can be a goal for 2025. All right. Thanks so much for listening. And I can't wait to chat soon. Please download, subscribe, share this episode with a friend if you think they might want to hear the story or any of it. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Thank you again for listening to Where Passion Meets Purpose. If you're enjoying this show, please subscribe and download it so you don't miss an episode every single week. And if you think you have a friend who might benefit from listening, please share it with them as well. If you'd like to contact me, you can always reach me through email on my website at jenmentesana.com and my social media, Jen_Mentesana. And you can DM me there and I'll always respond, and we can connect about topics on the show or anything else you'd like to discuss. Thanks again for tuning in.